So we're just going to leave that as is. And so now we have that TS file. And the interesting thing, if we go over here and we look, I don't have my magnifier. Hold on a second. Let me start that up so you guys can see this a little bit better. So now if we zoom in, it comes back to life on me. Oh, what did I just do? I think I hit step in. So hold on a second. I was trying to magnify in, but I hit the F11 instead. Just close that down for now. Because I want to show you what this TS is doing over here. There we go. So if you look, what it did is it actually created a sub folder or a sub file underneath the TS file that is the .js. So now, I mean, really, this hasn't changed anything. You know, in order to reference the JavaScript that TypeScript is going to execute, instead of referencing the .ts file, I'm going to reference the .js file if I'm doing debugging, or the min file if I'm in a released version. So it automatically takes care of minification and generating the JavaScript file. So as far as a developer is concerned, you know, it's no different than just referencing those JavaScript files just the way that you did in the past. And so we got that one created. So now let's create the one for the VM as well. And this one's a little more tricky. So here under my view model, I'm also going to add a TypeScript file that shows up for me automatically now that I picked it last time. And we'll do TPS. I try to keep it as close to what we have because we're going to have to go modify some of this here in a minute. VMTS, cover sheet VMTS. So again, it gives me that, you know, initial starting point, and you can turn that off. It's an option that you can turn off if you don't want to get, if you just want a blank slate when you first come in. But again, I'm going to get rid of this stuff, and we'll call this, what do we call the other one? We call it TPS cover sheet models as far as our namespace. So we'll call this TPS cover sheet VMs. And then again, we can just kind of copy over what we have from the other VM. So we'll call it this again. And you notice that when I built this originally, you know, I built it using JavaScript, and I did a pretty poor job of doing that. Now that I've been working with TypeScript and seeing the JavaScript that TypeScript spits out for me, I know that there are some issues with the way that I created this JavaScript to begin with. So we definitely want to fix that. And so here we're going to export this class, and again, let's just kill that stuff. And actually what we're going to do is we're going to export this. I'm not going to call it a class in this particular case. I'm actually just going to make it a variable because it is a Kendo UI object. So we want to just grab all this Kendo UI code here and copy it over. So the other thing you can do with this if it gets annoying is if I just bring it and put it over here, it just docks it for me. So now it's docked over there. If I want to get it back, I just bring it back out. So again, you can kind of clean up some space if you need to in this particular case. So I'm having a couple different issues here. First of all, this is exactly what you want as a developer. Is that now it's telling me here that I've got some problems, and it's telling me inside the tool using you know, compile time help. So I don't have to run this to figure out, okay, you know, it doesn't know where my TPS cover sheet object is. So we can pull this in now from the previous one and then start to fix some of these errors before we actually spit it out. So in this case, I need my normal model. So I'm just going to drag the TS file over here, and it's just going to reference it just like it would any other TF file. And so now that I'm down here, I can't use this anymore because I created it inside of a module. So I need to do TPS cover sheet models dot. And then notice, I know again that's kind of hard to see, so let me zoom in a little bit. Notice right there, it knows what that is. It knows what objects I can instantiate inside of that module. So in JavaScript, everything's kind of just an object. It's just anything. So it's hard. I mean, the tooling tries to figure some of that stuff out for you based on your references. But in this case, the TS is handling that for me. So now, you know, I know that I've got the right thing. The little red squiggly went away, and we're all happy there. So that portion of it's working good. Now I've got a couple other problems. Okay, it's having trouble with, first of all, it's trying to call itself. We'll get to that. Let's just step through this. So it doesn't understand Kendo. So Kendo, again, it needs to be referenced. It needs to know where those, where those are. Again, in normal JavaScript, it wouldn't have a problem with this. It would just assume that you're going to reference Kendo somewhere in your document and that it will be there when it needs it. But in this case, it's saying, no, we want you to explicitly tell us where Kendo is so that we can get some IntelliSense and help you be more productive. So, so in this case, there's a couple things we need to do. First thing we need to do is actually reference Kendo. So I've got two versions here. Hold on, let's do this. Let's go to my page and figure out which ones we need first. So if I go down to my views, and I can't remember if it's in my, I can't remember if it's actually in TPS Kendo. I think it is, but let's just verify that. So it looks like I need all of these guys. So let's just move those over. Visual Studio, thank you. Okay. So let's just move these guys over. I'll have to kind of redo them once I get them there, but at least I know that I have them. So again, I need to change the references to them. So we'll do this. Again, the nice thing is you can use Visual Studios to help you do a lot of this stuff and make your life a lot simpler. So in this case, this is all I need at the end. So let's just do this. /n for each one of these, and get rid of this script tag. I don't think it would hurt, but let's just get rid of it. Okay, give me some incorrect reference file. It's telling me, oh, it doesn't like the tilde there either. So let's just put the dots in there. Say to find it there. I think you may have to go one more because this one I went up. So this is where it gets to be a little bit of a hassle. So I'm down here in View Model. I went up and then I went to Model. In this case, I need to go to Kendo. So I don't need scripts. That's what the problem is. Just make sure it fixes that one. There we go. Fix that one. So I think if I get rid of the rest of these. Okay, so now I've got Kendo referenced, at least the references that I think that I need for Kendo. So now I need to do that ambient declare that we talked about. So I can use any JS library I want, but the compiler, and the interesting thing though is the compiler is now completely fooled. So I wonder what would happen if I save this. And this may be kind of a beta issue. Because as it stands right now, it thinks everything's just fine. So if I pull this out, yeah, see I'm gonna get the compilation errors over here. So at least I still get errors in this particular case, but it seems to think I'm all fine and dandy. So what I need to do though is just real quickly just do declare Kendo, and I think that would fix that. And then the other problem that I was having earlier, let's go ahead and save this and close it and reopen it and see if that gets those things back, because I'd like to be able to show you guys what that looks like. And not only that, I'd like to be able just to see those errors myself so I can fix them. Let's open this guy again, see if it brings it back. Yes. No, it's still giving me some weirdness. And you notice over here it hasn't saved it right either. So let's see what happens if I do save it. Because that's when the compilation should occur.